what would it be? And get the energy of that. And let's destroy and uncreate everything that even just asking that question brought up, all the years, all the points of view, everything that was. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So, one more time, if you could have your life be anything, what would you like your life to be like? And if you could have your life be anything in the next 2 to 5 years, what would it be? And now get that energy and put it out in front of you. I know this sounds weird, wild, wacky, but just put it out in front of you. Pull energy into that from all over the universe. More, even more than that. It's an infinite universe. There's an infinite supply. You receiving that is not going to take away from someone else. What if it's going to actually contribute to them and make things greater for everyone? And everything that brings up, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So pull energy into that from all over the universe. Now send little trickles of that energy to everyone and everything that will contribute to that actualizing as a reality for you. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And now you can say, hey, universe, consciousness, spirit, whatever your word for that is. Hey, I'd really like this. Can I have this, please? And what are the infinite possibilities for this to show up greater and with more ease, joy, and glory than I can imagine possible? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I'm so grateful, Mark. Yes, consciousness is not at all serious. So thank you for keeping it late. How does it get any better? And so that's something that you can play with, is when you ask that question, getting really present with what the energy is for you, and then pulling more energy into that and sending trickles of it out to everyone and everything that desires to contribute to that. So that may have been way far beyond for some people. Oh no, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, there's a shower going on upstairs, so I was hitting the mute button. Well, good. That means I didn't accidentally interrupt you like I thought you did. So I thought, so it works out great. The thing that I was bringing up when I tried to interrupt was one thing that was coming up for me with that is when you think about kids growing up, how much emphasis there is on what would you like to be when you grow up.
Oh, totally.
And we start to emphasize, what we're going to be with what we're actually doing. So like, I want to be a firefighter. So I have my son, Max. Now, when you ask him, what would you like to be when you grow up? He's like, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to do whatever I like. And it's like, that is such a great answer.
Kudos to you.
But he really got that though. It's just like, well, why would you limit yourself as to choosing only one thing that you're going to be and do for the rest of your life? But we have that emphasis on as a child so much, and then like destroying, uncreating all the places where we have that projection, expectation, definition, and conclusion that I have to fit into the box of society by picking something and going to college and doing all those things. What are the unlimited possibilities of just actually being ease, joy, and glory?
Yeah. And I mean, for how many of you guys, and it certainly was for me, this was like the biggest relief for me when I discovered Access Consciousness and took the foundation, was the part where we talk about how for the seekers of the world, having a career is definitely not what we're great at. Because if there's like, I have so many different revenue streams. I have so many different things that I enjoy and that are fun for me. Why would I pick just one? Why wouldn't I do exactly what your son says? Be happy and choose what's going to create more every day. Get up every morning. Okay, who am I and what grand and glorious adventure am I going to have? And choose from there.
There was make me think of a movie. Have you seen what is it, 31st Dates? It has Adam Sandler and Drew
Yes.
Barrymore in it. And it's like how much of a day, like when you look at this movie and every day she wakes up and it's just like, hey, it's another day, and it's just like you don't have any past experience past a certain point. It's just like a brand new day that has no strings attached, and you can really recreate it anew every single time. What if we had that level of freedom to just completely create our life new every day?
Yeah, and I mean, that is a movie that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, recommends all the time for people who are really stuck in that conclusion of, I am this and I have to do this, and this is the only choice for me. What if you really could wake up like that lady in that movie every day and discover and create your life anew? And there is this tool, it's one of the Access keys to total freedom, called living in 10-second increments, which is basically, yeah, if you had 10 seconds to live the rest of your life, what would you choose?
Oh, I'm just waiting for Mark to have an answer on that. I just know he's already thinking about what he's going to type. I can feel it. Oh, but all joking aside, Mark is such a huge supporter of the stream, so I always love his contribution. And to your point, it's all sacred play. Let me throw up what he put up there too, because he's always commenting on Dr. K's. He's like, being released from prison within the next 10 years would be awesome for me. And, but Mark, I have a question for you, because you always use this prison joke as the reason you don't come out to one of our energy clinics, though you always rave about them, which is tonight, by the way, for anybody who is hasn't signed up for one yet.
Yay.
But it's always, oh, I'm in prison, I can't do this. And I know you're joking about it, but what jokes and excuses are you using to avoid the possibilities you could be choosing? Just throwing it out there for your consideration, Mark. I know you're just joking for real, but what would it be like to not joke and take action, and to start having change and possibility in your life instead of maybe scattering some energy from a joke? I don't know.
Well, and we talk about that in Access, that the clearing statement, there's this form of the clearing statement where you may have even heard some of them if you've seen, and I totally recommend for everybody watching this, Dr. Dane here, the co-creator of Access, did this amazing Facebook Live for World Happiness Day. And it's so amazing that happiness is becoming more and more something that people are interested in exploring and choosing and being in the world, like your son. And he uses the clearings that we talk about in the bars class, the foundation class, have something called the jails. And it's basically judgments and agendas, inventions, lies. And that's basically how you create your life, as though you were in a jail. It's an energetic jail, though for some of us, it's the jail of, oh, I can't choose this, or this isn't a possibility for me. It's these places where we've come to a judgment, or we've bought someone's lie, or we're telling ourselves a lie that we can't be or do something. And so when we ask the universe for something, and if it's not showing up, that's one place where we can use these tools to ask some more questions.
Awesome. And I just posted the link in the chat
Yay,
for
thank
Dr.
you.
Dane's thing. And if you're watching, if you want to pause the video later, you can write that down, but it is in the comment section as well. Max, you can just go, buddy. He's all speaking. He's like, were you talking about me? Why, yes, we were, sir.
We were. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you for your
here.
contribution.
Yes.
He's on spring break, and he's getting his computer to work on a young authors competition. So he's actually being productive too. But he also played today, so he's got a good balance of productivity and play, which is amazing. That's awesome. And there's so much with Access with just happiness. Like one of the classes that we as facilitators can teach are like four tools to get your happy on. And that's maybe I should offer that class in the upcoming future. There's just so many things that bring lightness and joy. And to throw out a word in Quechua, because I love the tradition that I practice so much, pupliai, which means sacred play. Everything in life is just like this playfulness. And if you can look at it that way, things can come so much easier. Because do kids have a lot of point of view about having fun and creating? They don't. They just they just in the moment, and they have a blast most of the time.
Well, and I have a blast every time that we've gotten together on these things, because there is and just to acknowledge that, that's another tool of access to play with, is acknowledging, like, I have to acknowledge the energy of play that's here because it's so much fun. And what if everything that you do to actualize money in your life could be from that sense of play?
Right. And now, because I know I have this one question that I know someone made on the last stream, so I'm going to start segueing to where
Cool.
that question is going to be a bit more relevant. When it comes to actualizing money and all that, some of it is in the mind, but there's also things that are stored in the body. And
Sure.
like cellular memory, or what if we aren't, actually, I'll give you another example from Andrew's clarity night. There was somebody in the class, a friend of mine actually, so I had like the story from both sides, who had a horribly hard time actualizing abundance. They didn't even have a car. They slowly looked at their mom. Their mom was a lawyer, and she had made the decision, the choice, that I'm going to be nothing like my mother, which included being successful, which included, not having things, and like living kind of in poverty. So like sometimes like we're storing in our body like energies that we learned from our parents without even realizing that we stored it. Could you talk a little about maybe some tools to start freeing up where these things are stored in the body?
Oh, I love this question, because this was such a huge bit of information for me, a huge awareness for me when I started taking access classes. Was, if I was just a being floating around as an entity, a ghost, a spirit, whatever you want to call it, would I require any money? No. So what if the purpose of having money is to create comfort and ease for your body?
Ooh.
And so how many fixed points of view, how many judgments, how many inventions and lies and other stuff that, we don't even have to have a name for it, is locked into your body to keep you from having that comfort and ease for your body? And everything that is, will you destroy and create it all?
Hell yeah.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And so wow, okay, cool. Like, that's like, whew, there isn't even another part to that right now. So everything that's locked into your body to keep you from having total comfort and joy with your body, will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And then no pain, no gain, no pain, no
Ooh,
gain.
ooh. Well, how many of you guys have had no pain, no gain as your mantra instead of all of life comes to you with ease, joy, and glory? So no pain, no gain, no pain, no gain, no pain, no gain. All the secret, hidden, invisible, covert, or chic stuff, creating that as a reality, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And that's another place where, how much has pain and suffering, or taking the long, hard road to success, been made so right in your universe? These are these places of rightness or righteousness. Like, when so many times when you'll see someone famous interviewed on TV, they'll start with their story of how much they suffered to get to where they are now. And so many people view that as good. So whatever your story of hard luck is, and everything you're doing to create that as a reality for you, will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere you ever actualized something, asked for it, showed up almost instantaneously or totally instantaneously, and you were made wrong for that level of ease, will you now destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh, there's a lot on that one.
I know. Well, but that is, oh, Mark, making you hungry for Taco Bell, huh? Well, energy clear. Like, it's funny that you say that, Mark,
Yeah.
because when we have that. So now this is probably going to get Mark to come to Foundation after I say this, because part of it, like when we have these classes, is like shopping for the bodies, and like I buy stuff I never would buy normally.
Yeah.
Like Capri Suns, and I like, I don't know, like some weird stuff. And it's just like, I know that that is going to be needed. Or like sometimes my body just requires some random things. Now there's a balance too between
Mhm.
like doing that and like using it as a excuse perhaps, but like sometimes the body just requires some stuff that you might have a point of view about not being healthy. But what if it was only the point of view about it not being healthy that made it unhealthy?
Totally. And we talk about that right off the bat with access is what if with all of this energetic shift and change, what if your body has different requirements and you have to ask, does my body require sugar, salt, water, or some sort of energy? So what does your body require? What is your body asking for?
Now, Mark's a serious question, and I'm sure other people might be wondering
Yeah,
this too.
thank you
Uh,
so much for asking
yeah,
that.
what is the saying that Heather keeps repeating? What does it mean?
Yeah, those weird words are the access consciousness clearing statement, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And there's an amazing video at theclearingstatement.com. So you can discover more about that tool and start to play with it. And if you can't recall all the words, you can just say pot and pock all that.
Yeah, and that's like the short version, and it's really the energy
Yeah.
of the statement that causes so much potential. And I'll put it up on a banner. This actually is a forwarded domain, so like if you go to this, it will forward you to a different. It will forward you to the Access website where the video is. I'm just putting it in here. The reason I say
Thank
that,
you.
that's why I'm not posting it in the comments. Facebook frowns on forwarded domains. That's one of the reasons my ad account back in the
Ah,
day, that was one thing that they had issue with. So it's declaringstatement.com, but that will take you to access consciousness / other stuff that actually is where the video is. But that's easier to remember, declaringstatement.com. And it's a relatively quick video, and it will give you a whole nother appreciation for the words that Heather's saying, because it's kind of like we call them the superheroes of consciousness, pot and pock. It's like these magic wands that really get to the things that are sticking you the most from not allowing possibility to show up in your world.
yeah, I mean, that was the first time I ever was exposed to access consciousness. And I'm so grateful you asked that question, Mark, because there may be people who were like me. I saw a video like, I don't know, 10 years ago of a lady. She was running these pot and pock statements and she didn't mention access. And I said to the person I was with, I'm like, I don't have a good answer for what this lady's saying, but it's changing stuff. And I'm getting like, I can tell energy's moving and things are getting lighter and it's changing. And so, I sought her out and eventually found these tools, found access, from that initial exposure. And because it is so dynamic and the great thing is you don't have to understand it cognitively. You can even be asleep and the clearing statement will work on you.
Great. And I'm glad your chattering monkey has enjoyed all the wisdom. No, Mark, that's covered in Foundation too. There's a whole section on like entities and things like that. So that chattering monkey,
Yes.
sometimes there might be, you might be receiving some contribution you didn't ask for. And there's tools for that too.
Yes.
No, but for everybody watching, we're going to say final call for questions and things. We were planning to go just about an hour. So we still got 10 minutes left, but I'm just letting you know now. Now is the time to ask questions, make your comments. Mark, you've been wonderful. Thank you so much for your contributions thus far and also for keeping it playful and lighthearted, because there's way more that gets released with laughter than with tears. So any day of the week, I will gladly take people who are offering like that sense of ease and playfulness to the streams. Let's see. Oh, that was the other leading into the question that I was going to get to from our last stream when we were talking. I think we were talking about, was it just about foundation? But I think we were talking about body processes.
Oh, we went everywhere. We just really
Yeah.
followed the energy.
Oh, and that's the other link I've been posting. She is not a Buckeye, Mark. She is in the DC area out by Maryland. So
I was born in Cleveland, though. So my body chose to be born in Cleveland.
I didn't know you were from Cleveland,
Yeah,
or maybe I did and I forgot.
Speaking of bodies, yeah.
Awesome. but all the Mark, I don't know if you caught our other streams, but this is our 5th stream, and it is the first of many. This is the rebirthing of the Power Possibilities podcast. Really, when it's going to be Heather and I think I'm going to keep all that on separate stuff going forward. However, all the streams that we've done recently are all at emergenceofbeing.com/possibility. All the streams are embedded. They're relevant to some upcoming classes that Heather is going to be doing in Cleveland. So she has the How to Become Money workbook is going to be a virtual class, but we have the foundation, we have bars, all kinds of fun things coming up if you wanted to consider meeting her in person and telling her some jokes one-on-one.
I know. How much fun can we have? I've always had such a great time when I've come to Cleveland, the place of my birth. So what can we create?
But the question from that was brought up from the last stream, when I believe when we were talking about body processes and how there was like MTVSS and there is cellular memory, someone was posting specifically to, like, if you have like a blood pressure issue or call it any other issue, like what, from an access standpoint, what tools would you start to use to go after some things that are showing up in the physical body?
I would really always be in a question. And the number one tool that I recommend to people, whether, access is for you or not, is the tool of thank you body. And I may have even shared this on one of these streams before, but you actually can't have gratitude and judgment simultaneously. So even if you just take a few seconds every day to have gratitude for your body, it can create a totally different reality. So for all of you watching or listening now or in the future, you can put your hands on your face or some other body part that's maybe more fun for you.
I already know where Mark just went.
I think Mark is rubbing off on me. And you can have that gratitude for your body. Thank you, body. Thank you. And you can close your eyes and just taking that moment of thank you, body. Thank you for being here for me. Thank you for everything that I get to be and do. Wow, because of you. And I mean, I was just in Florida last week and swimming in the ocean, feet in the sand, having amazing food. That's all stuff that you can't do as an entity floating around without a body. So thank you, body. I mean, wow. What can you create in a body that you can't without it? And what money and abundance could make that a whole lot more fun?
Yeah, but I knew Mark was going there. He says, I won't say it. We knew
we're
what you were thinking.
We're both psychics, so
I'm surprised we had a free hand to type there. No, but in any event, I know I went there because I know that's where he went. I have no shame with that, Mark.
That's part of the joy of embodiment as well. Yeah. Thank you, body, for
all the places where people do have a point of view of the joke we just kind of alluded to. Like really destroy and uncreate all of that, because how much shame is put on our bodies and the functions of the body and everything that the body can be and do to bring you joy and happiness and all that too. So that's something, that really ought to be talked about, though it might be uncomfortable for some people. Access does have space for that kind of conversation as well. There's awareness of everything that is, and the absence of a judgment about it is really kind of a synopsis of consciousness.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yes. The definition of consciousness and access is that it includes everything and judges nothing, including what's so much fun for you. How much have you judged out of your life and away from your body the things that you really, really enjoy? And at what age did you give all of that up?
And I think we'll have to have a whole specialty topic series. It'll be Hank and Heather After Hours, and then we will totally go there. We'll take the deep dives into all those conversations. But as a reminder, final call for questions, and check out the website. I put the link in the description for the upcoming classes. And just to touch back one more with when it comes to the physical things too, like being in the question and thanking the body. We had a guest on a different podcast. He was like a psychologist, and his topic was like, pain isn't the problem. It's like the messenger, and it's just communication from the body. And so I wanted to throw out the question too, is like, what has your body been pleading with you to tell you that you haven't acknowledged that if you were to acknowledge could change everything. Because oftentimes it's not when something becomes physical, the body may have already been trying to communicate something to us, and we don't have, sometimes we just misfire because it's like a whole nother language. That's why they call Dr. Dane like the body whisperer. Like he just has this knack of being able to communicate with the body. And one thing from the bars class that I found was a huge contribution for me was the Thymus exercise. It's like one of the energy flows that they say it's like the seat of the soul. It's like this place of the body and the being come together. And then also like with the Becamex, I think is the correct way to pronounce it, analogy, like the autopilot that we turn on throughout our day. Like what if we turn the autopilot off and we were fully present with our body and our being and really started to have like this experience of communion being the totality of self, instead of like the body and the being two separate things that don't always work together.
Yeah. I mean, because there's, with that communion that you were just talking about, what's possible that's greater than you could ever imagine. And Access Consciousness has so many amazing body processes and tools and questions for facilitating that communion. 'Cause, I mean, how many people do you guys know that are just really not very present with what it is that their bodies are asking for? That's the way a lot of people function here. So you can really be in that question, like the questions that Hank was asking, the questions. Phone is telling me something interesting. Um, what is your body desire?
That is such an amazing question, because when I started asking that, but before I say this, I want to preface it that I am open for my body choosing something different too,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, when they hear the word vegan, they're like, oh, vegan. But I think I was treating my body so badly that when I finally started getting in touch with my body, and I was in line at Chipotle, and I'm like, body, what would you like? It's like, not that, not that, not that. And like overnight, I went vegan. And I fully, if tomorrow desired a steak, I wouldn't say no to it either. But like my whole wardrobe changed. Like all this stuff started changing because I really started getting in touch with my body. And like the weirdest food cravings, Mark, I know you were joking about Taco Bell. Like sometimes I just have this crazy craving for pineapple and pistachios. It's like when you start listening to the body, you'd be surprised at what things might come up that would be a contribution for you and for your body and being to work together that you never would have considered before, just because now the lines of communication have been opened up and established.
Yeah, and I mean, what are you doing or giving your body that your body is not happy with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and right after that too, for my wife's work, I had my biometrics, and the nurse practitioner said, she's like, these numbers, they're terrible. Like I just wasn't treating my body kindly at all. And for me, I needed like a good 3 to 4 year total detox, like just really treating the body kindly. And then who knows, maybe tomorrow I'll have a different thing. But the real key is to not be in definition and conclusion about I am this, I am an infinite being, and what will the adventures tomorrow be?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's these places of definition that limit what we can be and choose.
Well, Heather, I think we had too much fun today. I don't know about you.
It was so much fun. I'm so grateful.
No, but everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. You can
Thanks,
check out
guys.
all of our content that we've done so far anyway at emergenceofbeing.com/possibility. As you scroll through there, you'll find all the streams that Heather and I have done. And like I said, kind of correlated to the classes that she has coming up, which is going to be how to become a new workbook, which starts in just 2 weeks, which is a 10,
2 weeks.
less than 2 weeks, which is a 10-day class. And I found out she's doing a Facebook group for it too. So it's
Yes,
not just,
it's already created. I've already started posting.
yeah. So it's not just a class, it's going to be 10 days, but it's also going to be group interaction and group support and group actualization and possibilities and all that. Mike is saying already yes. And Mark, can you be a guest on one of the shows? We'll see how you treat us as we move forward here. And then that's going to be followed in May by a bars class and a 4-day foundation, followed by another money workbook class and then an advanced class. So there's this whole lineup of possibilities with Heather, and I'm taking them all. Right? No, but what energy, space, consciousness, and choice could your body, being, and beyond be to choose what's going to create the greatest possibilities for you with total ease? And just see, if that question might percolate some possibilities and ease of choice for that for you. Any final words, final question?
What if you always know what's true for you and what's going to work for you and be fun for you?
Awesome. That's a great question to end on. But thank you, everyone. We will catch you next time.
Thanks, you guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today for the show. The Sonic Shaman is part of the Emergence of Being Contributor Network. Visit emergenceofbeing.com to learn about all the contributors and learn about our services and upcoming events. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. You can contribute to the show by supporting our efforts and sharing our content with those you care about and those who need it most.